Hi, YouTube, or I should say, hey, y'all. It's Taiwan, and I am back after a very long break from YouTube. But I am here in my little hotel in Miami. I am doing some work, a renovation for a drug rehab facility. So, anyway, say a prayer for me that all goes well on this, and then I'll be off to the Caribbean back in St. Lucia next week. But anyway, I'm enjoying Miami. I'm enjoying the weather, and I'm happy to be here. What I want to talk about is a love and hip hop episode inspired topic. So before I get started, this is not a love and hip hop review. I don't do love and hip hop reviews. I'm going to talk about just the general topic of women on these shows and in life in general fighting over men. It's something that we see over and over on Love and Hip Hop if you watch the show at all. But I won't ever review the shows because I watch too many people on YouTube who do it so well and who are so entertaining. So let me give a shout out to them, Mr. Chalaki and Lady Nika. It's Rocks. I think her channel is For It's Rocks. Ashley Miller. Am I leaving anybody out? And there's a guy, I think his name is Mike or Mike B, that I had kind of gotten into watching when the Love and Hip Hop New York was last on. So anyway, there just seems to be this epidemic or this thing, this running theme on every city, every franchise of Love and Hip Hop where there are women fighting over a man. And I use that term man very loosely. And it's usually somewhat attractive women fighting over a man who's not attractive at all or not, necessarily as attractive as the women are and who isn't even really in a position to do anything for these women. So I don't understand. I just hate seeing the women play themselves on these shows season after season. So in LA, we had Hazel and Musica beefing over Young Berg. Hated to see that. And I know that Hazel wasn't necessarily anybody's favorite or a lot of people's favorite or anything, but I was impressed when I heard her rap on some interview. I don't really keep up with my hip hop and my pop culture like that, but I saw her on an interview and I saw her rap. If it really was a freestyle, she, has some flow, and I've watched some of her videos. So anyway, Hazel E and this Musica girl fighting over Young Berg. I hated to see that. And then we had, I can't remember the pretty little model's name who started off one season with, what is that boy's name? Fizz. And then, to see her get into it with Miss Nikki Baby or Nikki, it happens. And then, okay, New York, the most notorious, I guess, love triangle, if we can call any of that love, with Tara and Amina fighting over Peter season after season after season. And, that one is not even funny. It's not even entertaining because there are babies and there are children. Other people are into this. It's not just these adults with their foolishness. So that one is really sickening for me to see. Now, I have to give credit to somebody who, again, didn't really get a lot of credit and people weren't necessarily feeling, but I started to like this girl on Love and Hip Hop New York, and that's Mo from, oh my gosh, BBOD. When she and Mariah Lynn had the potential to, I guess, become the next Tara and Amina type of situation, or to be girls fighting over a guy because Mo thought that she and Cisco had something kind of serious going on, only to find out that he had been messing around with Mariah Lynn when he came to visit her at her performance. And when Mariah Lynn let the cat out of the bag, rather than Mo getting angry and wanting to either beat up Mariah Lynn or to get Cisco to leave Mariah Lynn alone, I love the way that this young lady handled it and just said, you know what? He's not dating me anymore. You and Cisco, Mariah Lynn, are now dating. take me out of this equation. She walked away, and she didn't get really any kind of credit for having any kind of class. And in that situation and in that moment, Mo really did the right thing, and she's the only person that I recall in the history of Love and Hip Hop who just walked away from a guy who was trying to play her. So kudos to her. I like that she did that. So this season, it looks like the ladies who get to play the fool over a man are Tommie and Tiarra on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Um, Never heard of any of these people. They're fighting over some guy named Scrap, another rapper, which is semi confusing to me because I didn't even really know who Scrappy was, and so now we have this Scrap guy, and oh my gosh, it's like these girls are literally fighting over scraps. So anyway, we have Tommie, who looks like she has quite a criminal history in her background, who has been a girlfriend to Scrap for the last year, at the time that his baby's mother, or the mother of his one of his children, or yeah, finds out that um, he had a relationship going on with her. Now, it seems like, I believe on the first episode, I was in with Tommie because she was saying, well, I'm not going to take it to this girl Tiara because she doesn't know about me. So my issue is with my man. So I'm going to let him know that I have a problem. And I so appreciated that. And if she could have just rolled with that, I would have been so happy. It's not like she's looking for my respect, so there's no need in me saying I would have respected that decision. I would have. But I would have been so happy to just see, oh man, here's another season where there's another woman who is going to act a fool over a man. So, but then, we all saw how it played out, and Tommie just kind of started talking sideways to Tiara just so that she could make that segue to let her know that, yeah, I'm with your man, and I've been sitting on his face every night for, every other night for, I guess, the last year. And then the fight ensued from there, whatever. I just don't know, and I don't understand. I don't know what kind of checks these girls are getting, or Mona Scott has some kind of demonic hold over these people to make them sell their souls and look so stupid on television. Or maybe they just get so comfortable in front of the cameras that they don't realize, I guess, what we're all going to see. I don't understand. But, I mean, I can say that, and I don't understand how it plays out on TV like that. But it plays out like that in real life, too, sometimes. So I guess that's the bigger topic. And I've been in somewhat of a situation like that. I've never fought over a guy. And I was in a situation with an ex, the guy I dated in college. His name was Lewis. And he actually cheated on me with this girl. And I was done, but I was still friends with him, and I was still trying to hang on because we had been together for, it was over 3 years at this point. And so it was just like kind of devastating to me, but I did still want to be his friend. I didn't want to be with him, and, that was over. And on this one particular night, I went to visit him, and he had his niece and nephew there who I had been, around for a good part of the time that we were dating. And then the girl that he cheated on me with came over to visit. And I wasn't even in the room with Lewis. He was in his living room, and I was in his bedroom with the kids. We were watching like the Disney Channel or something. They were really young, his niece and nephew. And she had a problem with the fact that I was there. Now, to me, yeah, it was funny that she was bothered by me. And so, but I didn't try to go in to where they were. I stayed back where I was, and this is a girl who was a little bit overweight. And I'm sure, well, he, later did tell me that the thing with them was just, he was using her for sex. And so, not to brag on myself, but I did look better than this girl. And so, it was funny to me just to know that she was sitting in there being really insecure about my presence, even though I never came out to say anything, not a hello, nothing to give her any kind of idea that, that I'm worried about whatever they've got going on in there. So she took it upon herself to come in the room where the kids and I were and to say, me and you need to talk. And I was like, no, we don't. And if there is anything to talk about, we're not going to have any kind of discussion in front of these kids while these kids are here. Um, well, we need to talk now. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. So if you want to go and spend your time with him, I'll be leaving shortly. Just leave me out of it. And at this point, they were never in a relationship. They, had a sexual thing going on, but he never claimed her as his girlfriend or anything. And so, they were in there arguing with each other now. Me and the kids, I'm just trying to talk kind of loud to the kids so that they don't have to hear anything. He, I never heard exactly what their words were, but she came back and she said, "We need to talk now." She got loud with me like she was I mean, I've never even had my mom really, talk to me like that. And I'm just like, girl, I said, here's the deal. I don't want him, and it doesn't really appear that he wants you. And so there's nothing to talk about. And she slammed the bedroom door on me. She said some words to him and she left his apartment, at least that day. I'm sure that they probably continued their relationship, which didn't really matter to me. I just kind of like coming by so that I could brag to him and show him that I still look good and this is what messed up with, and now you got that old ugly what's her face, with you. But anyway, so that's kind of the closest thing that I've come to as far as, and that wasn't really a fight over a man. That was really one-sided, on her part. But so my question to you is, have you ever been in a situation where you fought over a man, or are you a man who's put two women in a situation where they're kind of fighting over you, or one wanting to prove to the other that she has your affection and your attention? And if you're not maybe a person who's been in that situation, have you counseled a friend, or have you given advice like, girl, just leave it alone, or, girl, you should show up at her job, with him in your car, like, I don't know, like, just if you've had a friend in this situation, or if you've been the person in that situation, what's your advice? What do you tell someone? And then what do you tell the guy? Maybe you're, a friend who has a guy who's a dog, and, maybe your advice to him is, hey, pick one, or, stop playing these girls. I would love to just say to every woman who has had a guy play them like this, had a guy play two women at the same time, I just wish that every one of these women, these pairs of women, would get together and then say, you know what, girl, why don't we both leave him and let him be somebody else's problem? And then, let him not have that built in, because usually sex is the motive behind that, or at least with one of the girls, it's usually purely a sexual thing. So I wish that both of the women could just come together and say, you know what, let's just both cut this out. I didn't know about you. You didn't know about me. Let's not fight with each other. Let's just call it a day. And, I don't have any hard feelings. And let's just both let this fool, be by himself. I wish that that's the way it could be. And that's just in my little ideal world. I know it's not going to happen that way, but in Taiwan's world, that's the way that it would go. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I'm going to try to be more consistent. I know I always say that. I'm going to try to be more consistent with some kind of video. But again, I don't want to do reviews because there's so many people already on YouTube who do that well. So I kind of just want to pick a topic and talk about some things that are relevant, maybe to more than just the show Love and Hip Hop, or if I'm, Real Housewives is on or something. Those are really the only two reality shows that I watch, and that's more than enough because it is garbage. But I think sometimes we all just need that, release, or just mindless entertainment, because life is real. So I'll never judge anybody for watching shows that I don't watch. I watch these two. Not necessarily religiously, but I get a good laugh when I do watch it. So anyway, I hope that y'all have a good week. It's, I think it's Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. Okay, I've been going to Seventh-day Adventist churches here with a lot of people from the Caribbean, and some of them are that. And so I'm getting mixed up when the weekend comes. So anyway, have a good Sunday. Have a good work week. And I will try to see you all before another 3 months goes by. Talk to you later.